Hi everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Manchester City versus Tottenham live watch along on That's Football as the Premier League returns for game week 2. And what a game we've got for you on game week 2, because it's, as I said, Man City, both teams winning last week very, very convincingly. Of course, Tottenham beating Burnley at home, Manchester City obviously away from home against Wolves. Neither team has conceded a goal, 7 goals between them, and I'm just watching an absolute banger from Richarlison there. So welcome back. Good morning, legends, says Mike K. Well, good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are around the world. It's a watch along for everybody. Obviously still recovering from an amazing night last night with the Bundesliga. What a player. What a player Nusa is. If you know, you know. No, seriously, I mean, Harry Kane, hat trick, but we all know about Luis Diaz, but Michael Elise, what a player. What a player he is. Absolutely incredible. But let's have a look at the team news. It's going around the screen at the moment, and we will certainly get straight into that. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Get involved with That's Football. Lots going to go on this season. It's the new media. It's the exciting place to be, and you've built it. So thank you very much, everybody getting involved as always. You can see the Man City team on the screen there. Trafford in goal, Lewis, Stones, Diaz, Alt-Nouri, Reinders, Gonzalez, Cherki, Bob, Mamouche, Haaland. It's a very new Man City side, isn't it? We'll come back to that, but let's have a look at Spurs. Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Spence, Sarr, Palhinha, Bentancur, Kudos, Richarlison, Johnson. I mean, I think both me and Robbie in win, lose or draw did go with a win for Manchester City. And I think that's a logical thing to do. But I look at the benches of both teams. Aki, Doku, Foden, Rodri, Kushanov, Silva, Nunez, O'Reilly, Edison. There are players on Man City's bench that I would have had as starters, you know. I think Doku's a good player. Foden, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Edison, obviously he's going to leave. But Spurs' bench has improved a lot as well. Bergval's a fantastic player. I like Danzo. Archie Gray's an interesting young player. Odebear, Solanke, Tell. So, look, Spurs under Thomas Frank, I think this is a really big test for them. If they could get out of this game with a draw today, I think it would be maybe better, but if they can get out with a draw, I think it's a really, really good result for them. But I did just want to talk about Man City. Rodri's not starting because he's had a bit of an injury. I think he's actually back ahead of schedule. But look at that Man City side. When I look at that Man City side, it's a new side. And one thing that's been levelled against Pep Guardiola is that he's ruined football and that he's a checkbook manager. He's a successful checkbook manager who's ruined football by making it boring. But this is something he's never done. He's never rebuilt a team. Klopp done it. Sir Alex Ferguson did it multiple times. That is what makes a good manager. So I think that where you've got to give credit is that whatever happens with Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, this is a rebuild. James Trafford in goal, new keeper. Alt-Nouri, new left back. Lewis coming through as a younger player. Reinders and Gonzalez are both new signings in the last 6 months. Cherki from the summer as well. Bob's a young player. Mamouche from January. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in that team that are new signings in the last sort of 8 months. There's 2 youngsters in that team, in Bob and Lewis. And obviously you've got the experience of Haaland, Diaz and Stones. So where I will tip my hat to Man City, and you can clip this because I very rarely do it, this is a new Manchester City side. And I respect the fact that Pep Guardiola is doing that because he's never done that. And if he can take this, it's a checkbook rebuild, says Jack. Of course it is. That's what he does. But it is a rebuild. And if he can take this Man City side to a league title, I would argue with anybody that you do need to give credit for the fact he's rebuilt an entire side in 8 months. And he spent a lot of money in January and he spent a lot of money in the summer, but it's not easy. It's not easy to rebuild more than half a team in 8 months. So I'm excited to see what Man City can do. I'm never going to watch them play bloody Wolves. I'm never going to watch them play Burnley, but I will watch them play, you know, decent sides, and credit if it works, says Jack. Look, this is That's Football. We're here to talk about football. I'm not a fan of Man City for a multitude of reasons, but I'd rather watch this team than the team that's dominated for the last 5 years. I was getting bored of Bernardo Silva and Foden and De Bruyne. You know, I actually am quite excited to watch this team. So, you know, there's your hater. As for Spurs, I like Thomas Frank. I'm a big fan of Thomas Frank. I think he deserves this opportunity, and I hope he can take it because he's a decent coach. He's very good at being defensive and then counter-attacking, and they're going to need to do that today. But I look at the side that Ange left behind. Thanks, mate. Not many people are. I might be heading back to Forest. Might give you a call for a bit of advice, mate. Because at the end of the day, I was treated like fucking shit. But Ange left the squad. There's been a bit added to that squad. I think Spurs have got a better squad than some people think, and they've got to be looking for top 5 this season. I think. They've got to be looking for top 5. What do you think about Ange coming in at Forest? Well, I heard about Jose Mourinho. I mean, I'd love to see Jose Mourinho at Forest or Palace or West Ham. I'd love to see Mourinho back in the Premier League. And you know what? I lose track of what's going on there. I think we all do. It's a little bit. It's been one of them transfer windows, hasn't it? It's it's hard to keep track. The owner is one of those owners who really gets hands involved. To have a manager saying that they fell out, I think that's the end for him. But they had a really good season last season, and they bought well this season. So, I mean, it's just disruption, isn't it? But you know what? This is sort of like what Gary Neville was on about, isn't it? It's a bit chaotic. I think he went a bit far, but it is a bit chaotic. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that would be excited about a Jose or an Ange coming in. But I think Nuno would have suited European football for them. I really think the way Nuno plays benefits them. They defend well and they counter well. They're not dissimilar to Thomas Frank in a way or Glasner's Palace. So where I think they might go wrong here, and it worked with Villa and Emery, but where I think they might go wrong is that you are bringing in players, right, for a different manager, and then you bring a manager in when the season started, and as we saw with Amorim, I would say straight away, how is this manager meant to come in and be successful when he hasn't had a pre-season? And I think that, to me, is massively naive from any owner, but we'll have to wait and see. Result prediction on the screen for you there. Let us know your thoughts, win, lose or draw for Manchester City. Me and Robbie both went with Man City wins. I nearly got Robbie to go for a draw, but he's copied me. So, there we go. He's got a point lead. There we go. But yeah, look, just going back to Tottenham very, very quickly before I get the stats carousel rolling. I think it'll be a rearguard action. But look, I think Spurs' big problem over the years has been that you come to these sort of games and you don't really turn up. Thomas Frank is a different type of coach. I think that if they want to be considered a serious football club, they've got to start getting results in games like this on the regular. And I'm intrigued to see what Spurs can do this season because I do think that they could be a little bit of a dark horse. Jeffrey says, what about sack race, Potter or Nuno first? This is the thing about the sack race. I said, I did say Patrick Bamford first of all, which was an impossibility, but I said Farke at Leeds, who started off with a win. And this is the great thing about Premier League predictions. They can go out the window very, very quickly. But I would not have predicted Nuno getting sacked because he falls out with the chairman. Like most people, I would predict it based on results, which it won't be. So, I mean, Potter at West Ham is in big trouble, isn't he? The one thing about Graham Potter at Brighton and Chelsea that he always had in his locker was a strong defence and an inability to score goals. He's now got an inability to score goals, and he's wide open like a nudist's apron, really, at the back. So I think it's not looking good for West Ham. But where do you go from there? They sold Kudus. They didn't really replace him. They've let Alvarez go. They haven't really replaced him. I think West Ham, for whatever reason, are in trouble. Like a what? Nudist, so naked, apron. So when a nudist has an apron on, they'll be naked at the back. Come on. Figure it out. You're better than that, Jason. You're exposing yourself as low IQ. There are other watch-alongs for that. Dale says, is there an Arsenal Leeds watch-along? You bloody better believe it, mate. You bloody better believe it. Gyökeres. Look, United stand, this is not. That's football. Everybody's welcome here, and every football opinion is there to be debated. I believe Gyökeres is going to win the Golden Boot. I've said it. I back this player. I think he's going to do well, and it starts tonight. So Gyökeres, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I thought Arsenal were poor against United, but they got the 3 points. Obviously, we're building up to 2 really big games involving Liverpool. Newcastle Monday night, and then next weekend Arsenal at Anfield. So, you know what? That's why Man City's game is so important. I think Man City have got quite an easy, dare I say, sort of start to the season. This is probably their hardest game out of the first 3 they've got. They've got Brighton away. I mean, to be fair, they haven't got the best start to the season. I don't know what I'm talking about. They've got Tottenham today, then they've got Brighton away, then they've got Man United at home, then they've got Arsenal away. Now, I'm not saying that they won't beat Tottenham, Brighton and Man United. They probably will. But Arsenal away will be they're a new Man City. I find Man City really intriguing because it's a new Man City. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing. Thank you very much for your super chats that are coming in. If you do that through the $, we'll read those out. This is going to be one of the games of the weekend, says Gibson Media. And I reckon Nuno would take over at West Ham, says Inga. Haaland's going to win the Golden Boot, says Kim. Yeah, but that's the obvious choice. I don't do obvious. You know, we don't do obvious here. 61% of you are going to go with Man City to win, 23% Tottenham and 16% the draw. There we go. We'll close that poll because we're about to start here. Got a new timer to show you. New setup. Don't forget, everyone will be copying this soon. So visualize that we did this first. You know, like we used to have the scorecard there and that there, and everyone copied it. So we've moved it. Watch how they'll copy this one. I'm half joking. But look, I think should be a good game, hopefully. Should be a good game. Please do share the video. Make sure you subscribe to That's Football. Reminder, last night, Bundesliga live match. I just went to bed last night. Couldn't believe that we actually had live game footage on a watch-along, and hopefully more of that to come. Certainly our Bundesliga highlights show is going to be a banger when that drops mid next week. But and we're back every Friday night with Bundesliga action. I was actually reading about St. Pauli and Hamburg for next week. It's actually a city derby. Can't wait for that. It's going to go off like a bottle of pop. But one of the takeaways from last night really was how young Elise is and whether he's the heir to the Salah throne. Now, I was on the United stand this morning and somebody made a very good point. I don't know what Liverpool fans are talking about, thinking that they're going to get Elise to replace Salah when Bayern don't let players go in their prime. And I was trying to think, do they let players go in their prime? Because surely Kroos went in his prime from Bayern to Real Madrid. So I think players have left in their prime. Elise is only 23, I think. Yeah, I've seen the Casemiro news, Mike. I'll believe it when I see it. He's got a release clause next summer. What is the release clause? Because I think that was where I was going to go next. But I mean, look, if you're going to leave Bayern, there's only 1 or 2 places you can go. Barcelona, Real Madrid, maybe Liverpool. I don't think you go anywhere else. I don't think there's another Premier. I wouldn't go to Man City. I don't think it's a step up from Bayern in relation to the arena that you're playing in. They're a big club. Same with Arsenal. I don't think it's a step up. I think Liverpool might be an appeal in the Premier League. And I think that Real Madrid or Barcelona. But I'm just looking here. Elise Bayern release clause. We're about to start the match here. A deal was expected to be complex with Elise's release clause worth. Does he have a release clause? Can't see anything about it. Michael Elise has a release clause in his contract from 2026. I don't know the validity of that. It's an interesting story to keep an eye on, I suppose, as the season goes on. Right, we're about to start here. Spurs playing in black and Man City playing in, funnily enough, light blue. They are at home. Just waiting for the ref to start this off. He's a minute late. Sack the referee for being late for a Premier League game start time. There we go. There we go with our new timer. Ozzy is on his 5th date. What should he do? Well, if it was after 9 o'clock, I'd ask a certain question, but depends what you did in the previous 4. So, start the game here. Spurs looking to get in and behind. Sorry, Man City looking to get in behind with Mamouche, but I mean, look, the thing about Spurs last season as well is I think Ange's football was very entertaining, but left them very open. But he did have a lot of injury problems. If they can keep Romero, Van der Ven fit, I think that makes a massive amount of difference. First time I've seen this Man City kit with the white stripe down it. There's not a lot you can do with a light blue kit. I've always said that. There's not a lot you can do with a light blue kit. Who do I want to win? Spurs. It's an easy question and it's an easy answer. Nice little ball. Could be a goal for City. Good defending. Cherky. I'm interested to keep an eye on Cherky. Got an attitude about him. But this is a new Man City side. Lots of young players. Wasn't there talk about Rico Lewis leaving to go to Forest? I mean, that's not looking likely when he's starting games. David says, I thought you want a good title race. Yeah, I don't want Man City in it. I don't know why Man City fans get so burned. They get really offended when people say, I want you to lose. Like, you should take it as a compliment. At least it shows people care. Because that's one of your biggest problems. Publicity. Yeah, I've gone with the City win. Where's the video feed, says Akiba? Yeah, we don't have Premier League rights. I mean, yeah, maybe one day. That's the dream, but... Good play by Bentancur there. I mean, it's a good... I tell you what, it's a good Spurs midfield. I like Palhinha. I always did. Bentancur's a good player as well. Sarr gives you lots of legs. Bergvall's a fantastic player. He's on the bench. So... Spurs just knocking it around the back here. That's a foul on Spence. Yeah, give the foul, ref. I tell you what, the referee in the Bundesliga game yesterday, especially in the first half, was fantastic, letting the game go. Our referees could learn a thing or two. Score predictions for Liverpool-Newcastle, Mark, says Jake. We're not on that till Monday, but I went with the Liverpool win, which is risky, away from home. I want to do a bit of an either or here. I'm gonna go with a bit of a theme from last night. Cole Palmer or Elise? Didn't Chelsea do well last night, considering Cole Palmer was out just before the game in the warm-up? Would you rather City or Liverpool win the league, says Meta? Oh, here we go. Marmash down the left-hand side. Mamouche, sorry. It's got options. City have started off well on the front foot, but that's a terrible pass. And goes out for a throw-in to City. Congratulations on the Bundesliga, right, says Trip. Well, I'm never not going to keep saying that it's down to you lot. You know, the community, the power of the community is why we got them. I mean, there was 20,000 consecutive live viewers at one point last night. And we've had 500,000 views collectively. So You know, I'm not being disrespectful to BBC iPlayer, but I guarantee they didn't have that many people watching their game. So it's a clever move. This is where, you know, community and audience is powerful. So it's because of you. Thank you very much. It's a good. Look, we like either ors here. Palmer Elise was mine. We'll certainly do some of yours in a minute, but that's a good one. Mark, Jamie Carragher's favourite player is a centre-back and he's 5'9". Who is it, James? Right, early opportunity here for Spurs to put a free kick up on the goalkeeper. I always look, Man United might be doing this in a couple of weeks. If we get a goalkeeper in, we're looking at this Le Mans from Royal Antwerp, young goalkeeper. Man City are doing it as well. I'm sure Spurs would love to get some free kicks in and around him today. Yes, Stones is a good aerially, and so is Diaz, but there's not that many other players that are good in the air. No Rodri, fullbacks are small. They played a high line here, Man City. They do not want this anywhere near the goalkeeper. It's a very interesting high line, but they've gone far, and Haaland clears it away. That's it, ref. Play on. Very good quick feet there from Kudos, but he has to go back, and it always goes all the way back to Vicario. I'm Spurs. Think we can get 16th this season, says Miss Con. He's gone way too early there. Offside. Look, I think 5th place is up for grabs. We watched Villa Newcastle last week, didn't we? And bore draw, really. As a United fan, I'd love to think that we can get in the top 5, but Spurs have got a good chance. I think beyond Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, who I think will be comfortably top 4, 5th place is up for grabs. And you look at teams like Newcastle, Villa, Spurs, maybe Man United. I mean, that's 8 positions when you add them 4 up. Oh, that's a foul on Richarlison by Haaland. Book him! Book him! Ref, book him! Look at this for crap control. Trampoline toes, look at this. Well in. He should be sent off for that. To be fair, it wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. That's a red, says Sidant. Baresi played for Milan. He's a walking contradiction, says James. I don't know what you're talking about, James. You're having a conversation with yourself. I think it was borderline yellow card, really, looking back at it. Anyway, this is a better free kick position. Porro's on it, right on the edge of the box, left-hand side. So you can put this right on the goalkeeper. Actually, he's going to shoot. He's going to shoot from there, isn't he? Trib says, we'll get 5th place, Mark. No worries. I think he's a Man United fan. Mexican American says, definitely a red card to Haaland. Well, there's two around this wall. I think it's Kudos and Porro, but Porro will hit this crap into the wall, and a follow-up shot that was better but goes wide. Well, you'd be pleased with this first, what we had? Not quite 10 minutes. You'd be relatively pleased with this first 10 minutes. I mean, it's a new Man City side. That means they're still gelling. So I think from Spurs' point of view, what you're trying to do here is just, bed in. New manager. Get through the first 20 minutes. Don't want to be 2 or 3-0 down. And build from there. Keeper's not going to get there. Bad head back by Porro. Oh, Mamouche, so unlucky. I mean, that's bad defending by Porro. And then Vicario's sort of in a bad position. He's got no right to score from there, Mamouche. The angle is ridiculous. But, yeah, it's a long ball. Porro, not really under any pressure, underheads the ball. Mamouche from a ridiculous angle and just goes wide. I think Vicario probably has got his angles covered, to be fair. But, that's exactly what you don't want to be doing. As I said, Spurs will want to get through the first 20 minutes without conceding. So you don't want to be inviting undue pressure. Good interception. Well done, Palhinha. Very good. 2 tackles. Retains possession. He's brilliant at that. Keeps things simple. Cross into the box. That'll go out for a goal kick to Man City. So thoughts on the first 10 minutes? Exactly probably what I would have thought. Exactly what I would have thought. Man City, obviously it's a new team. So many changes in it. Trying to build rhythm, which I'm sure they will do as the season goes along. And Spurs, new manager. So and second game of the season as well. So I think it really is going to be about who can get the first goal. But obviously Man City with the home advantage, that's not a foul. Fuck, this is what I mean about last night. In the Bundesliga last night, that would not have been a foul. But these knobhead referees, just, I think that VAR is a joke. Like, obviously it's a joke. We know that. But I also think something that gets missed is the inability to let games flow. Like, every little push is a foul in the Premier League. Lovely play. Mamouche, brilliant goalkeeping by Vicario. He's looking good, isn't he, Mamouche? What makes you separate Chelsea from the rest and put them with the top 3? I think they should drop to 5th or even 6th, says Scrog. Well, they finished 4th last year. I think they've had a better summer transfer window than everybody below them. I thought they were brilliant last night. And I think it's about points accumulation. And look, Newcastle finished 5th, losing 12 games. I don't think Chelsea will lose 12 games. So I think I'm not saying they'll be in the top 3. I think they'll be comfortably 4th. There's my explanation. He has been a very, very good signing for Man City, Mamouche. I said it last season. I don't know why. You got to give Man City credit again. I mean, I just don't know how people missed out on him. I remember before he went to Man City, there was talk of Liverpool and Arsenal, but it was sort of like just a brilliant player. Rub says, talk shite are losing their mind on your Bundesliga, right? Well, I've only seen what Simon Jordan said, and very intelligent it was. I don't know what anyone else is saying. But, so I can't comment on it. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was an element of bitterness, because basically I used to work for them and left because I don't like how they work. So they're probably going to be a bit bitter. Where was Gary Neville last night? What do you think of my Aka? Šeško to have a goal or assist, United to win, and over 1.5 goals for United. I think United will score more than 1.5. And United to win, yes, I agree with that. Šeško goal or assist, depends whether he starts. Another offside. Man City are playing a very high line here. If it works, it's brilliant. And it is working so far. Thanks for your super chats, by the way. And there's an injury here. And it looks like it's the end. I don't know who it is for Man City. Is that Gonzalez? Looks like he's down. Injuries are going to happen. It's part of the game. But Pep not looking very happy. Aki's warming up. It's Alt-Nouri. Phoenixes are like the new overlay. Just wanted a bit more space over this side because I felt I was very boxed in with the scorecard on that side. And, you know, I like to get up and move. And also we can bring in the mobile and bring stuff in if we want to, like FOTMob or stuff like that. Club World Cup strikes again, says Perrin. Yeah, we need to do that. Jim White says you weren't his cup of tea. That's because he likes crunchy nut cornflakes and a yellow tie for breakfast. Let him speak, for God's sake. Rub says, we will fight Liverpool for the title. Top four, my arse, says Rub. Well, technically you are top four. I don't know what Alt-Nouri did here. Maybe went over his ankle. These are all, but you know, these are exactly the these are the injuries that you get concerned about when you don't see what the problem is. Yeah, he's turned his ankle, hasn't he? He might be all right. Going to come back on. Where's Vardiel? Not on the bench. I am doing the Arsenal watch along, yes, Wayne. Oh, Vardiel's not fit. He's injured as well. I just think what a season he had last year and the year before at left back. Look at Mamouche again. You know what? I've got to say, he is a Man City player that I like to watch. Flair, which is rare. Flair is rare in a Pep team. I think Alt-Nouri is going to come back on. So if you've got him in your FPL, he's going to come back on. Elise and Palmer is very close. 53% for Elise. Shot. Save Vicario. Didn't deal with it. Very Anana there. Oh, God. Spurs breakaway game is a bit shit here. Kudos versus Cunha, says Story Time. Well, Elise beat Palmer 53% to 47%. And we have had a super chat poll. So I will run that. What was it? Kudos or Cunha? I tell you what, we better not have a bloody 0-0 here. Last half 12 games I was saying this, very interesting. I didn't realise this until I was doing my research. The Bundesliga averages more goals than any other league. So, Premier League need to start getting some goals in these half 12 games. Spurs need a striker, says KN. They need to bloody... They're a bit like Leipzig in the first half yesterday against Bayern. You just sense there's going to be a Man City goal in a minute because Spurs are doing nothing going forward. I'll tell you what Spurs need, a left winger. Did you see Simon Jordan's thing, Jay? I did. I thought he spoke very intelligently, actually. Spurs should sign Eze, says Ben. He's not officially signed yet. Hassan says Turkey looks like a flop. I love it after one game. I love it. It's like Verts last week. It does look like Altnouri's going to come off because Aki is being spoken to by somebody with a laptop. And unless they're watching funny videos on YouTube of cats falling down the stairs, and let me tell you, Aki is not smiling, so either he's not enjoying it, and yeah, Altnouri's going to go off. This is always a problem. Probably should have come off straight away. Tried to run it off for 5 minutes. He is going to come off now. So Aki on, Altnouri off. Not a bad substitution to make, but I just think it's disappointing. Altnouri had a brilliant season at Wolves. He's a very good left back. I think it was an intelligent signing by Manchester City. And you do just worry whether that is going to be a long-term injury. Did he play in the Club World Cup? Did you see the Cowboys documentary on the 90s on Netflix? I haven't seen that. No, Scrog. Just finished Andor. I enjoyed it, but to be honest with you, at the end of it, I think it left a lot of things untold. And then I went straight into Rogue One, which I do like, and I sort of went, I don't think they did. I don't think Andor was as good as people make it out to be. I sort of watched it and thought, well, what did that really add? Yeah, Altnouri comes off. Why couldn't he go off on the other side of the pitch? See, this is the thing about the Premier League. They make rules up and then they forget them. Like, he's left back and he's walked the whole pitch across when he could have just walked from the side. Again, exposing PGMOL for inconsistency again. He's playing at left back. He could have walked 5 yards off the pitch, and he walks all the way off the pitch. The Premier League just love to slow the game down. It's almost like I've said it so many times. It's almost like they don't understand what makes football interesting. Stop-start doesn't make it interesting. Keeping the game flowing should be in their yearly PDF about making the game better. And they slow it down all the time. I have seen the City as ours. I quite enjoyed it, Gibbsy. Johnson isn't good enough. Yeah, they need a left winger. I mean, I think Johnson's better off the right anyway. Thanks for your super chat, Scrog. Appreciate that. In the poll, Cunha has got 72% and Kudos has only got 28%. I mean, I think it's a bit closer than that, but based on last season, you would say Cunha, wouldn't you? Kudos didn't have a great season at West Ham. He's got immense talent, and hopefully at Spurs he'll be showing that on a regular. He's certainly done well to get out of West Ham. Bentancur is a problem here. He's having a bad game. What's Bentancur's problem? Get the fucking ball and play a pass. He's holding on to it way too long. Kudos won't keep that in. He's going to be a problem for Spurs. He's getting the ball and he's holding on for it too long. And guess what? Breaking news. Man City like to press you. Get it and move it. Gaz Wilson says, does that apply to injury subs or just normal? Maybe it doesn't, but maybe you're right, actually. What do you think of Chelsea's performance yesterday, says Cag? I mean, I think any team that goes and wins 5-1 away is, deserves credit. And also, remember, they were 1-0 down. So, and it's a London derby. So, the only thing I would say about Chelsea is I was surprised they didn't beat Palace. And total respect to Palace, they're a good side. But that would have been a bit disappointing for Chelsea fans. So, to respond with that win, they're still chasing their tail a little bit because they'd like to have had 6 from 6. But as I say, that's why I put Chelsea in the top 4, because I fully expect them to pick up more points than the team in 5th. Budgie says top 5 leagues ranked. Well, it's close between the Bundesliga and the Premier League. No, look, the Premier League's the best league in the world. And as I've said before, I think between... Look, in La Liga, you've got 2 of the best teams in the world. You've got Barcelona and you've got Real Madrid. Beyond that, the league is, you know... the way they run that league, it's a bit anti-competitive because Barcelona and Real Madrid are so much richer than everybody else. The Italian league is very, very competitive and probably the best title race, top 6 race in Europe, but it's a little bit slower. Hold on a minute. Nice little ball out to the left. Terrible. Marmouche! Marmouche! He gets the ball, loads of space on the left-hand side. You think this is going to be an opportunity, and he miscontrols it. Is it empty seats at the Etihad, or are they in light blue shirts? I mean, I can see some seats, to be fair, but it is a Saturday afternoon in August, and you know, it's not like it's the first home game of the season for these City fans. Yeah, so the Italian league is very, very competitive, but it's slightly slower than the other ones. I can sense a Man City goal, you know. They're pressing incredibly well. You just feel it's a matter of time. Spurs offering nothing going forward. Another bad pass, though. So we've done the Italian league, we've done the Spanish league, done the Premier League. Bundesliga, obviously, I'm learning as I go along, but I like the fact that there's a lot of goals in it. I like the fact there's a lot of talent in it, which we've seen from the mass export this year into the Premier League. And you know what? I think the French league, I've always been quite dismissive of it, if I'm being completely honest. But that's because PSG are just so strong. PSG are the best team in the world, and I'm quite intrigued about Paris. You know, they're very rich, they're very wealthy, Paris FC. I'm interested what they're going to do. Marseille are interesting, obviously, because of the people, you know, people like Mason Greenwood. Monaco, Pogba. So, look, nobody can compete with the Premier League for a multitude of reasons, but these leagues are... Here we go. This is a goal. Brilliant save by Vicario. Haaland slipped it through. Mamouche, I really thought that was the goal we thought was going to come. And that's a big save by Vicario. Really thought that would be a goal. But you do feel that the goal is coming. Spurs, as I said, it's very reminiscent of last night. Leipzig and Bayern. Bayern all over Leipzig first half, and it was just about when, because Leipzig were offering nothing going forward. And Spurs here, you can't just play defense against attack. And that's a free kick to City. Super Donut says Premier League's dying if it doesn't go USA in 20 years, empty seats. And Harbour says, another thing that slows the game is when they stop the game to write the name down when shown a yellow. Pisses me off, says Harbour. It's a good save. I mean, Mamouche probably could have done a little bit better. She's getting excited. Dominic says, what's the best story you can tell from an old job? It is a watch-along, mate. I mean, ask me that on an 8 o'clock show on the United Stand and I'll do it on the after show. Free kick here for Man City. They're going to ping this up to the back post. I don't think Man City have had a corner, have they? Well, they haven't put the cross in. Yeah, it's just going to come back again here. Neither team's had a corner. Good play by Kudos. And he gets tackled, but Haaland not able to react to that. Hi Mark, huge fan from Melbourne. What are your score predictions for the United game tomorrow, says Walid. 3-1 Man United. Half an hour gone here. The only real highlight has been Al-Nouri. And I'm not saying it's a highlight that he's gone off injured, but that's about it in half an hour. And then that chance for Mamouche. Very disappointed with Spurs. Reinders there, number 4. Do you think James Trafford will be the number 1 all season for City? If they get Donnarumma, no. I mean, he's one of the world's best goalkeepers, so with all due respect to James Trafford, he's not. JT says I'd sub off Bentancur, 100%. He's causing problems. I think he's just holding on to the ball for too long. Lovely touch by Kudus. See, here he is again. He takes too many bloody touches there. He's inviting the press. He's going to score in a minute. Aaron says, I think if Spurs survive the first half, they've got a great chance. Well, you know, in honesty, I said survive the first 20, which they've done. What really should happen is the longer the game goes on, the more frustrated the home crowd becomes, and the more you grow into the game. I do like Bentancur, but I just think he's having a bit of a shit game. LT, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm trying to think of a story for Dominic. A funny story that's short from a previous job. Most of mine are long. Oh, I'd say it's a very small one, and it was very childish. But I used to work in an office very similar to The Office. If you've ever watched it with David Brent, it was a very similar office layout. And outside the office, obviously, there was a ladies' and gentlemen's toilet, not shared. It wasn't. It was the early noughties. We didn't do any of that then. And basically, we printed off an out of order sign and put it on the men's toilets. And then for a whole week had it to ourselves. We didn't go together. We just had the toilet to ourselves. And we found it quite funny that there was nothing wrong with the toilet. And everyone else had, all the other lads had to go to another floor. Whereas we would just pop in and use it. And then somebody complained about it not getting fixed. And then the office manager was like, who put the sign on the door? There was nothing wrong with the toilet. And then an email went round. If you don't say who put the sign on the door, then we're going to check the CCTV. I mean, as if you're going to get sacked for that. But they didn't have any CCTV in the corridor because we'd already scoped it. So obviously neither of us emailed and went, yes, it was me. I'm confessing now. I disagree with your reasoning. The Lemens signing, why buy another potential player if you think we'll need another goalkeeper next season? Get Costin out as Goldio. Oh, no. I agree with you, Goldio. But if you've only got 17 million quid, you've only got 17 million quid. It's like signing a striker for 30 million pounds and saying he might not work. Go and buy Erling Haaland. But if you haven't got the money to buy Erling Haaland, you know, as is anything in life, you have to operate within your means. Spurs are their own worst enemies here. They really are. They're inviting so much pressure high up the pitch. They're annoying me. Pissing about with it at the back. Just inviting pressure. We're still... you know what? Premier League is such a boring watch, says Dag. Did the Premier League managers not watch the Champions League last year? Did they not see the Enrique model of moving the ball quickly from side to side? Like, oh, Richarlison's in here. Back post! Back post! Now! Goal! Brennan Johnson! Oh, fucking, he's flagged it. He's flagged it. He's flagged it. How have you got that wrong? How have you got that wrong? How How do you get ahead of the ball here? Oh, I think it might be Richarlison who's off. Yeah, Richarlison's offside, I think. Because it's not Brennan Johnson. No, it's definitely not Brennan Johnson. It's Richarlison. Richarlison offside on the through ball. Man City playing that high line though. I said that if you keep doing it and it works, it's great. But if you get it wrong once, it's a goal, and that's going to be close. That's going to be really close. AJ says he sounded a little bit excited. It's a bloody watch-along, mate. We're not sat here for we're not playing bloody dominoes. I thought VAR was meant to be quicker than this. I think it's a goal. If they're playing it on, I think it's a goal. I think it's a goal. It's going to get given. If they played it on to watch the Brennan Johnson one, that's a goal. It's a goal. Come on. Goal! 1-0. Spurs, get in. Get in. We've got a goal in a lunchtime game. And I tell you what, this is what we do here. We analyse games of football. We spoke about this 20 minutes ago. That Man City high line is great if it works every time. You've only got to get it wrong once and you're 1-0 down. And I don't know why Man City are doing that. It's a ridiculously high line. And I don't know why they're doing it. Because they're behind because of it. And if you're a City fan, and maybe somebody is, there are some out there, I'd be fuming with that. Because Spurs are literally playing counter-attacking football. So they're looking for the long ball. And then your defence is playing on the halfway line like that. Accident waiting to happen. Huggy says, where's the automated offside? It was slow. It was slow. It's meant to be quicker than that. What about poor keeping, says Mark, says Up the Devils. In fairness, I think if you spoke to an ex-player who played in goal, where it is, it's so quick and it's at him, you know, it's not out in his area like that. It's in there, isn't it? So, you know, you need a bit of luck to save that, I think. I think the power beats him. But Spurs 1-0 up here, and I don't, you know, you'd sort of look at it and go, it's only because of Man City's silly high line. They've not really done anything else. Enchanted Angel says, my mate wants He Chang to replace Rasmus. And Mark, Scotch, egg or hash browns? Hash browns for me, Langford. Who does it better, Martinelli or Milan Barros, says Paul Murphy. I don't know what you're talking about. Zaki says it's a boring game. We've got to go now. Gyökeres is the perfect fit for United. Šeško is the perfect fit for Arsenal, says Marlo. Too early in the season to decide that. I'd have liked Gyökeres at Man United. And I think Šeško would have done well. But they're both... look at... They're both... Oh, Kudos! Oh, Trafford did really well. I tell you what, if he got that wrong, he might have been sent off. But Porro, that's a penalty! Ref! You are shit, ref! Mate, you are fucking shit! How shit do you have to be as a ref? VAR at it again. That's a stone waller. That is a stone waller. This ref is a joke. How is he not given that? I mean, how is he not given that? I don't know whether it's in the box. It's a foul. It's outside the box. I think he's in the box. I think he's in the box when he gets fouled. That's a penalty. That's got to be a VAR check. I tell you what, that's a bloody foul on Kudos as well. Watch. Bloody hell, ref. There's 2 fouls there. VAR has had an absolute mess there. One of them's a professional foul, and then there's a penalty. Spurs have been absolutely robbed there. Absolutely robbed. What a disgrace. Welcome back to the Premier League, everybody. Welcome back to the Premier League. James Trafford should be sent off. And then, literally seconds later, they should have had a penalty. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely. I mean, mate, I'm trying to keep my blood pressure down this year. I'm trying to keep it down. This will just get swept under the carpet like the Villa goal. It's absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. The foul was outside the box. I think you'll find Porro's in the box. He gets fouled on his back foot outside the box, but his front foot's in the box. That's a penalty. Absolutely sick of VAR, says Ratfink. Oh, absolutely shocking. Let me run a poll on that. He's just going to play on. I'm just going to try and move on. Because we're just back where we're just going around in circles. Nothing's ever going to change. We've got the shittest officiating in Europe, in the best league in Europe, and nothing's ever going to change, is it? It's a disgrace. And it doesn't matter who it is. It could be Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Spurs. This is a red card. And it's a handball as well, outside the box. I mean, they couldn't get it more wrong if they wanted to. VAR can look at red cards as well. Oh my God, I'm losing it. I'm absolutely losing it. What is VAR for? You can review penalties and you can review red cards. Incredible. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. We're just going to have to move on. I didn't even know it was a handball by Trafford as well. City, very lucky to still be in this game. They're 1-0 down. They should be a man down. You could argue there could have been a penalty. We'll talk about that one at half-time because I need to see exactly where Porro was. But the Trafford one, I didn't even really realise. I'll give the referee a bit of credit. The Trafford one, I thought he got there. But that's the whole point of VAR. I'm not blaming the referee on the Trafford one. The VAR is there to look at the replay. On the second replay, I'm like, that's a red card. So why are they not doing their job? Wow. And you just know that's going to bite Spurs in the backside. You know Man City's second half are going to come out and blow them away 4-1. If Onana did that, it would have been a red card, says Maximus. Battle of the Bolds, Ashley Young or Phil Mitchell. Also, have you noticed people who are bold by choice tend to be strange people? Goldio, okay, that's boldest. I don't conform to those views. Van der Ven. Go on, Van der Ven. The real winner here is Dermot Gallagher. End of the day, you know, is it a handball? Is it a red card? You know, we want to keep as many people on the pitch as possible, you know. And then people don't understand VAR got a lot to do. He's not only just watching the screen, he's doing his Tesco shop. You know, he can't be expected to watch everything. And replay, it's hard. Those machines are difficult. Sometimes you only have one look at it because you don't know how to rewind. Not a red card for me. Human error maybe, but... Corner to Spurs. Spurs are the better team at the moment, BB. Please do share the video if you're watching. 18,600 watching. We're very close to 20k. Thanks for getting involved. Make sure you subscribe. Marlowe says City are using oil money. I know you don't like Richarlison, but there's no doubt when he's fit and when he fancies it, he's certainly someone I'd rather have on my team. It's just that Richarlison's more about being a bit of a wind-up merchant, isn't he? I think if he's on your team, you probably like him, and he is talented. But yeah, he's not necessarily likable if you're on the opposition. Remember the Senesi handball from last week, Robin? Yeah, I mean VAR it's not going to get any better because they're never held accountable. I mean, look, as a United fan, we all know Villa scored a legitimate goal at the end of last season that would have put them in the Champions League. They never even got an apology. So what's basically happening with the PGML and the VAR now is the media are not saying anything about it. It's just been swept under the carpet. And therefore, the real loser is you and I, because nobody will say anything about it. So they're not being held accountable. So they're not making any changes. It's just accepted that they're crap. And how is that? How in 2025 are we not asking questions of neglectful and incompetent officiating? It's every game, every season. It's I almost don't want to scream and shout about it because then you're just classed as a YouTuber. Well, no, it's not acceptable. It's not. We're going to be looking at this at half time and we're going to be going, how has that happened? I don't blame the referee. Goal! 2-0! Fuck off, have that! That's justice. 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 That is pure justice, that is, because they should be 2-0 up anyway. Maybe City fans wish Trafford had been sent off. Maybe they do. But that is pure justice on toast. Get the toast out, get the jam of justice, spread it all out and have a bite. Because that is justice, pure and simple. Spurs shouldn't need to do that. But look at this playing out from the back. This is footballing heaven. Let me drink this. Man City playing out from the back. Ruined English football, Pep has. And now he's ruining it for himself. Look at this nonsense. Look at this joke nonsense playing out from the back. Look at it. I love it. I love it. Keeper's made a right mess of that as well. Playing out from the back. It's beautiful. Watching Pep's team play out from the back and get absolutely mugged off. People need to watch PSG and realise football's moved on. None of this passing out from the back shit. 2-0 to Spurs. Justice is served. I think Trafford's played his last game as well, hasn't he? He's melting like a snowman in a heat wave. It's not nice to see, but 7 minutes added on as well. Where's all this come from? Trafford's having a shocker, says Stefan. Taxi for Trafford. Edison's let himself go. Bloody hell, he looks a right mess. You've only been dropped, mate. You probably get a better move. Don't give up. Andre Trafford, says Addy. Donnarumma announcement imminent, says Taylor. No one deserves more to concede from trying to play out from the back than Pep and City. Ha, says Inga. Look at these City fans. Who are we going to support now? We've had a good run, but who are we going to support now? Still time for City to get back into this, but they're looking... Confidence. There's a confidence shift, isn't there? Oh, this ref's crap. He really is. How's he giving a foul against Spurs there? I think the Alt-Nouri injury is why we've had 7 minutes. No one deserves more to concede from trying to play out from the back. Done that from Inga. Zifo says a big improvement is needed for City to blow off Spurs. Otherwise, City play for 20 minutes and they fade, says Zifo. Spurs just need to keep it to 2-0. If City get one before half-time, they've got a great chance. How's that a corner? How's that? Can I have a replay on this? Because I don't think that's a corner. If it is, fair enough. But how is that a corner? Is it just guesswork? No, I'm not going to get a replay on that. Don't show the linesman up. Yeah, that's it. Head it out. Man City look clueless. Too many changes. They'll be lucky to get top 4, says Jeffrey. We are happy, aren't we, Mark? Says Trib. Let's go. I still think City can get back into this. Here's Mamouche. Got Rodri on the bench as well. Cherky. Well in. Palhinha. Still City on the attack. Cherky. And Spurs will clear it. This high line of City is very dangerous. If they want Donnarumma, they're going to have to get used to teething problems out from the back, says Connell. Well, a few people have said Donnarumma doesn't suit the way Pep wants to play, but headed away. I think subs are going to be key in this game for both teams. That's never a penalty. Never a penalty. Dive. It should be booking him for diving. Oscar Bob. Oh, Haaland. Well, that's the chance. He should be scoring that. Cross in at the 6-yard box. He rises up above everybody else. You think they're going to get a goal right on half-time. Only 20 seconds of stoppage time left. How does he miss? Can't keep it down. Can't keep it down. Tell you what, though, I don't know whether it's the ball that the players have got to get used to, but I've seen a lot of headers like that. Ekitike, a couple of times for Liverpool last week. I think in the Community Shield as well. Somebody else last week did it as well. Seen a lot of these headers going over the bar from positions you'd expect them to score. So maybe it's just getting used to the ball. I'll take it out this afternoon. I'll tell you what it's like. Half time. Give us your thoughts. I think up until the goal, Man City looks like the better team, and I felt that there was a goal going to come. But that high line, we spoke about it before the goal. Weird tactic from Pep to be playing so high on a team that's going to counter. Caught them out. Brennan Johnson scores. Second goal, obviously, stupid playing out from the back, which Pep invented. 2-0 to Spurs, justified. But I still think, whether it's 4-0 to Spurs or it's 0-0, it doesn't change the fact that the officiating is an absolute bloody disgrace. And City should probably be down to 10 men. Eureka says, why so much animosity towards playing out the back? Because I cannot stand football where you're playing between the lines, passing lines, TikTok hipster shit. I can't be arsed with it. I find it boring. I don't like Pep's style of play. He's a brilliant coach, but I don't find it interesting. I don't. So when it goes wrong, it makes me laugh. I despise watching League Two teams play out from the back, from their goalkeeper. I think it's boring, and I love it when it goes wrong. And Pep's the architect of it. So, you know, we're all allowed to say what we do and don't like about football. I've said it for a very long time. Playing out from the back just invites pressure. I don't like it. I want to see Mvermo versus this high line. It'll be interesting, says Connor. Well, Man United play them in a couple of weeks, about 3 or 4 weeks. Nico costs 60 million and he's crap, says Varys. Well, Man City's midfield does not look very good, whether it's Reinders, Gonçalves or Cherky. They don't look very good in this game. But as I said before, very good opening week for Manchester City against Wolves. But you look at that Manchester City side, and there it is on the screen. It's 2 youngsters down the right-hand side in Bob and Lewis. 2 youngsters. It's a whole new midfield in the last 8 months. 2 centre-backs and Haaland provide stability, but it's not enough. Marmouche has only been there for 8 months. Obviously, Altnouri's gone off. Trafford's a brand new goalkeeper. Man City and Pep Guardiola specifically has never rebuilt a side. I applaud the fact that he's trying to do it, and if he wins the title doing it, he deserves a lot of credit. But it's a lot of changes. And of course, Spurs, as we know, have got a new manager. But City at the moment are playing like a team that's a new team. And that's going to lead to its own problems for them. They need a good start to the season. They need to win games. And to come back and win this game now at 2-0 down, it can be done, but they need 3 goals. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see whether they can do that or not. Do you think City will make changes? I mean, look, honestly, looking at the bench, I find it quite interesting to see the likes of Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva. Obviously, I think Rodri's carrying an injury on their bench. But I don't really understand what Pep's been doing for the last 12 months anyway. I think some of his team selections have been odd. Fundamentally, I know it's very, very basic, but fundamentally, I think when they haven't got Rodri, they're vulnerable. And that's proven way before the injury of last year. I think without Rodri, they are not as solid. And I think teams feel inspired by that. So, yeah, I think it's... natural that teams look to get at them, and I think that will happen more and more. But look, I don't feel this game's over. I mean, I'm waiting to see those referee decisions. But with regards to the game, Spurs under Thomas Frank 2-0 up, you would fancy Spurs to get something out of this, but they're going to have to work. And I think 2-0 is the biggest cliche in football. It is such a dangerous scoreline. 2-0 is such a dangerous scoreline, especially when you're away, because if they get one, they get the momentum. And then, who knows what's going to happen then. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, that's football. We're making waves. We have got live Friday night Bundesliga action on the channel. Actual live match footage. Bundesliga, Bayern against Leipzig last night was brilliant. We've got our weekly highlights package with all the goals. That'll be coming out with our own analysis on that. That's coming out too. Loads of other exciting things coming through the season. We are here to make changes, and it's all because of you in the community. So please click that button in the bottom right hand corner and subscribe. We're also doing Arsenal against Leeds at 5:30 today. We've got Newcastle against Liverpool on Monday night, and I'm on United stand tomorrow for the Fulham game as well. So lots going on. But look, this would this be the shock of the Premier League so far? I think it would be. I'm trying to think last weekend. Obviously Palace got a result at Chelsea, but it was a draw. So Spurs, I mean, look, no one's talking about Spurs. Apart from we were talking about Spurs last week, saying they could be the dark horse of the season. People say they're Spursy, and they are, but they could be heading, not conceded a goal yet as well. They could be, and let's not forget the Vicario save when Mamouche went through. That was a big save at 0-0. But 2-0 to Spurs is probably about right. And on top of that, they've probably had the bad rub of the green in relation to the potential sending off there as well. Right, let's come back to the chat. As you can see, the stats there, Man City have had more possession, but and shots on target 2 each. But look, I wouldn't be too worried about that if I was a Spurs fan. You're 2-0 up, and also it's Thomas Frank. I've seen Thomas Frank's Brentford smash Man United with 30% possession, and I think he did it to Liverpool as well. 64% of you said it was a penalty on Pedro Porro. We will close that poll because I think what also happened was, I want to ask, was it a red for Trafford? Because we're going to see that in a minute as well. Should Trafford... We asked the poll about the penalty, having not seen the replay. Anyway, somebody in the chat just said he should have been sent off for passing out from the back. Thomas Frank, what a coach. That was a red on Kudos, says King. Congratulations on the Bundesliga gig. Deserves, says Shane. Well, congratulations to all of us. We're changing the game. Disruptors. We're opening the door. Man Shitty, exposed for the piss-taking plastic team they are, says Ruben. No one is getting close to a Premier League title playing like this. Say what you really think, Ruben. Thanks for the super chat. I can see Pep bringing Haaland on in the second half. Never write Haaland off. He got 2 goals last week, and he only... I like Erling Haaland, apart from the fact that he plays for Manchester City, but I like Gyökeres as well. I want him to score later and silence a lot of the critics. But the thing about Erling Haaland is that he's a world-class striker, but he's totally reliant on service. You're not going to get him running past 3 or 4 players. You're not going to get him, linking the play up. Although it would have been an assist for Mamouche, wouldn't it? But he needs service, Haaland. And I do pose the analytical question about players adjusting to the ball. It's a new ball this season. I can't really tell anything about it, but that's not pumped up. I was going to get the ball from last year, but it's a new ball this season, and I don't know. Look, maybe it's slightly lighter. I don't know, but I've seen 4 or 5 examples now of the cross coming in, and you'd expect the striker to score, and they had it over the bar. Ekitike did one last week, so maybe they're just getting used to it. Maybe it's a little bit lighter. I don't know, but that was a big chance for Haaland that you would have expected him to score. So I don't know why I didn't actually need to get the ball for it. Suffice to show off and say, look, I've got my ball. I don't get why they changed the ball characteristics. Well, it's Puma, isn't it? It's a new brand. It's a very nice ball, actually. But it was Nike, wasn't it, for many years? So, look, I'm not defending Haaland by ball aerodynamics, but he is a service striker. I don't think judging him on anything else is ever going to work. Done that one. Thank you very much. 20,000 watching. Absolute legends. Thank you very much. What do you think about the City midfield? Look, City's midfield for years has been Rodri, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Gundogan. You've now got a brand new midfield. And I always paid credit to Klopp in his final year, the way in one summer he changed that whole midfield. I think he bought Szoboszlai, Alexi McAllister and Gravenberch in one summer. And they had a really good season. And I was like, that's not easy to do that. It's not easy to change your whole midfield in one summer and it go well. And effectively, that is what Pep is trying to do today. He's trying to change his whole midfield. He's trying to change his whole right wing. His goalkeeper. I think honestly, if City are 2-0 up and they score first, you're going, hey, the evolution's going really, really well. But it's fine margins, isn't it? And they're 2-0 down and everyone's going, he's making too many changes. But he's trying to build a new team. And that might be good for Man City. I mean, it's a young team. Maybe Pep's planning to be there for a long time. But I think his biggest mistake in that half was the decision to get his defence to play so high. I don't really understand it. I've never really understood it. The high line looks great when you're catching them offside all the time, but you've only got to get it once. Get it wrong once, and they did. I'm waiting to see if Sky are going to talk about the refereeing decisions. We haven't seen them yet. If they sweep it under the carpet, this is exactly why you need to be giving us the TV rights, because we talk about the real things. I don't know what it is they don't understand about what fans want to talk about, but ad breaks and replays of goals give us what we want to really talk about. Stop being submissive to an organisation that is out of control. You know, we had that handball in the Bournemouth game last week. Maybe Palace should have had a goal. There was a couple of other incidents as well. Maybe Man United should have had a penalty, to be fair. Would you do a documentary about yourself, says Jamie? I don't think anyone would want to watch it, would they? Trafford should have been sent off. Well, I'm waiting to see the replay here. I do want to talk about that one. I think it was a penalty on Porro. 77% of you saying Trafford should have been sent off. We're just watching ads here at the moment, but hopefully they're going to come back. They're not going to give themselves a lot of time, actually, to discuss this, but we're coming back now, so hopefully we're going to get it. Never a handball from Trafford. Where do you want him to put his hand, says Harry. I think he fouls him first. I think he kicks the player. I think it's a foul. I think Kudus knocks it past him and he kicks him. That's why I think it's a sending off. But I'd like to watch it again. Do you think Foden should be moving on from City by now, says Sweet? I don't know what's happening with Phil Foden. I really don't. I mean, look, I know he plays for Man City. And, you know, that automatically makes me dislike him. But he's a fantastic player and I just don't really understand what's gone wrong. I'd pay to see that documentary, says Tom. Big up yourself, Mark. Supporter from the US. The announcer on the USA Network said the challenge on Kudus and Porro were both clean. Jelly, you need to get me on the... I'm happy to do United States coverage as well. Just give us a call. So Sky at the moment are just showing the Etihad for 15 seconds. They could be showing... I mean, this is a joke. We're looking at the Etihad. when there are big refereeing decisions they could be talking about. I've got the voice of Joe Cole looking at the Etihad. The players are about to come out. So we're not getting any replay of the James Trafford incident. Are they having a joke? The timer's still on. Are they having a joke? Are they having a laugh? It's TNT. It's not Sky anyway. It's TNT. I'm having a pop at Sky. It's TNT. Oh, don't worry, though. Don't worry. They're speaking to Thomas Frank. Yeah, Tyler says everyone's slagging off Sky, but the game's on TNT. I cannot understand. Apparently BN Sports are talking about it. Spanish commentary saying clearly a red. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's a justification for it, but my big problem with it is that as a consumer, I'm not really interested in what Thomas Frank's got to say. What I am interested in is having a good slow replay on the James Trafford one. And the cynic in me says, somebody somewhere is saying, don't show it. Don't cause problems for the referee. Don't cause problems for VAR. And that only gets fed by the absence of us having a look at it. So I'm sorry. I've got nothing against TNT, but feedback, how the hell in a halftime show about analysis have you not gone and looked at what could have been a red card by James Trafford? How are we not getting to look at that? There's a word for that, and it's called scripted media. And it's 2025. And discussion has never been so easy on multiple social media outlets. So why are you suppressing conversation? What are you scared of? Who's telling you to do it? Why aren't you doing it? Is it incompetence on the producer's side? Maybe there's somebody at TNT who's a shareholder going, why are we're paying massive amounts of money for Premier League rights and people are switching off because our analysis is crap. Why are we not talking about the big event? Why have we not got a clip of Joe Cole saying that's not a red card or that is a red card? It's strange to me. It's very, very strange. So we haven't seen in the UK the James Trafford incident at half-time or the Porro incident. 100% PJML immediately told them not to mention it, says Connor. Well, we're not doing anything wrong by saying we should be seeing it. We're not in the wrong. Not familiar with how broadcasting works in the K. Are they actively choosing not to show the incident to avoid negative exposure for the referee, says Forms? Well, it's not even the referee. I don't blame the referee on the James Trafford one. To me, it looked like there was nothing wrong with it in real time. On the replay, I thought it was a foul and potentially a handball, which is why I wanted to have a look at it again. Porro was outside the box. The foot that he was injured, the foot that he was fouled on was outside the box, but half his body was in the box. So I think technically that's a penalty. I don't think it's where the contact on the player is. I think it's where the player is. I might be wrong on that. Anyway, we're up and running second half. Thank you very much for all your super chats. Thanks everyone who's getting involved. Appreciate that. Can City get back into this game? I'd expect them to score. Let me get the stats carousel running. I don't think we've seen any subs at half time. Obviously, Out-Nouri went off in the first half. Yeah, no subs yet. Do you think Thomas Frank is as good as an outfield signing for Spurs, says I'm elusive? Look, I like Ange. At the end of the day, I won a bloody trophy, mate. I do like Ange, but they were shocking in the Prem. And the problem Ange would have had staying is that if he'd stayed and they'd lost the first 2 games of the season, he'd have been sacked anyway. So, difficult decision by Spurs, but I think they probably made the right one. Even though at the time, you can't believe that Spurs would sack a guy who's won a trophy because they never win trophies. Lovely play by City. This should be a goal. Aki, good block. Last person City wanted that to drop to in the box was Aki. Good block by Palhinha. But I think Thomas Frank deserves this chance. I want him to do well. I like Thomas Frank. He's definitely earned his badges in the Premier League with Brentford. Incredible. I mean, look, I don't look at Brentford the same way now. I think if Thomas Frank was still at that club and they still had Wizza and Burmo, Norgard and Fleckin, I'd be saying I'd fancy them for mid-table. But without Frank, I'm like, I think they could get relegated. So that just shows you the enormity of what he did there. He deserves this chance. And I think he's a different type of coach. I think he's a disciplinarian. I think he's well organised. He's obviously looking to bring flair players in as well. They went for Eze. They brought Kudus in. They're going for Savinho. I'm interested to see what he can do. And it's Spurs is a really interesting. If you were taking it, maybe when you're playing FC 26, take the Spurs job because you're in the Champions League as well. Brando says they're trying to quiet the blunder. Definitely got paid off. I think the breakaway for Spurs is still very much on. Norwegian commentary says they cannot explain why it isn't a red because there are 2 actions to justify it, says Isaac. Well, I'll take your word for it, mate, because we haven't seen a replay other than when it happened. But I would imagine Kudus gets there first, gets kicked, and then the ball hits him on the arm as well. Man City crisis incoming, says Shorties. We're not there yet. I'll put it to the vote if we get there, to whether I should do a video with that title. Seems a bit early. I can definitely see City getting a point. I wouldn't rule them out getting a win. The momentum they'll get from getting it to 2-1. As I said, I think the subs are going to be key in this game, and Man City have got a good bench. I don't know what they've got attacking-wise. They haven't really got a striker on the bench, have they? Aki's already on. Doku, Foden, Rodri, Kushanov, Silva, Nunez, O'Reilly, Edison. They don't have a striker on the bench, do they? Whereas Spurs could bring Solanke on, Tell. Could come down to that. I mean, they're never going to want to take Haaland off, are they? I worry. I mean, I don't worry about Man City. That's a complete and utter lie. There's one thing I do. I don't worry about Man City. But I do think that Man City, playing in that Club World Cup, in certain areas of the pitch, if Erling Haaland gets injured, what do you got? Going to put Mamouche up front. Which is fine, but then you've got nothing if anything happens to him as well. Are City a little bit short in the attacking options if anything happens to Haaland? And he has had periods of injury in his time at City. Here's Reinders. Lovely feet, but goes too far. Michael says, the City of old, you could never write them off, but this is not the City of old. The game is over. Could be your famous last words there. Explain me this. Why is Bernardo Silva not getting in this side? Man, I tell you what, Spurs have got to stop losing the ball on the edge of the box. They're losing the ball way too high up the pitch. Imagine a player did the same jump tackle like Trafford. How is that not a red, says Neil. Pure knee into the stomach. Look, if Man City come back and win or draw this game, that decision, people are saying, why are you talking about it? Because it doesn't matter what the score is. It doesn't matter if it's 4-0 when it happens. It's the score at the end of the game. And most of us feel that Man City should be down to 10 men, in which case Spurs don't lose. So I'd keep it in your back pocket because that could still be a very, very big decision. Look at this. This is absolute shit. What are Spurs doing? Why are Spurs copying Man City? Why are they playing out from the back? Did you not watch the first half? Why are you playing with fire? Look at this stupidity. Stop playing out from the back, you absolute turds. Absolutely nonsense football. Here's Jed Spence. You need to pass, mate. Ooh, Trafford gets hold of that. Ronaldo's scored, apparently. Look, I don't care whether it's Spurs or Man City. I cannot stand this playing out from the back. I mean, it's not even exciting. You know, people go, oh, there's a keeper, mate. Keeper's misplaced the pass. It might be a 6-yard tap-in. I grew up with Matt Letizia scoring it from 40 yards. I grew up with Ginola scoring worldies, King Clancy. You know, I did not grow up with... That should have been a penalty to City. That should have been a penalty to City as well, to be fair. See, I can be fair. That should have been a penalty to City. I think VAR's having a day off. No, I put my hands up. That was a penalty to City, 100%. I'd have Cherky for Doku, says Hugh. Well, we've had a couple of substitutions here. Bernardo Silva's on. Long ball. It's a lovely ball as well. And this is where Kudos... That's going to be a corner, isn't it? No, Aki's done well. Done very well there, actually, to be fair. Martinez is starting for Villa. That's over then. That theory's gone. Fraz says, when does VAR ever have a day on? The substitutions, you should have seen them. Doku on for Mamouche. I'd have put Mamouche up front. Porro into Kudus. Back post. Back post Spence. Back post. That's the ball. Good defending. Richarlison did get on the end of it, but good defending by Lewis. Yeah, Mamouche has gone off for Doku and Cherky's gone off for Silva. Quiet game by Cherky. Ref needs a VAR check, says Lel. Thanks for all the super chats today. Make sure you subscribe. If City go for another goalkeeper, who should they go for, Jeff? Well, I think they're going to go for Donnarumma 100%, aren't they? 100%. Are Spurs looking decent? I think they've played... I don't think they're easy on the eye. I don't think Brentford were easy on the eye. But as per teams like Crystal Palace, it's an interesting system, and it works very well away from home. Spurs have got numbers here. They've got a 4v3. Don't shoot from there. Oh, what a twat. What? You know what? That's what I saw at United for 4 years. Thomas Frank can't believe it. What a selfish prat Brennan Johnson is here. They've got a 3v3 and he goes for a worldie. Watch this. Look at the options he's got here. Sars ran off Bernardo Silva. You can't teach IQ. You just can't teach it. Some players see their name in lights and they can't help it. Here's Kudust as well. Right, come on, Spurs. Starting to open. I tell you what, straight away, you can see the lack of legs Bernardo Silva's got in that midfield, and it might be a problem for City. What is your honest opinion on Liverpool? As a fan, I think we're 2 or 3 players short, says MM Martin. Look. Lovely. I tell you what, I'm going to... Brennan Johnson's not going to get on the end of that. Spence, nearly a one-on-one. Spurs play in fits and starts, don't they? They like defend for a bit, and then they'll have like 10 minutes where they're really on the front foot, and they're having that front foot at the moment. Palhinha is my man of the match. Who's your man of the match so far? I think he's been brilliant. I really do. That's a foul. Ref! That's a corner. Oh my God! This linesman's shit! It deflects off Aki and it's a corner, and it's also a bloody foul. I can't get my hat on how bad this officiating is. It's a foul and then it deflects for a corner and he goes goal kick. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think Palhinha's man of the match for me so far. He's done a great job in that midfield. Sar's been good as well. So glad we're back to these weekends. I missed football. Cheers for all you do, says Nath Footy. Thanks for being with us, pal. Appreciate it. Akas says, I'm 100% with you, Mark. This playing out from the back needs to stop. Even the dads under 7s do it. Can't fix stupid, they say, says Cricks. Do Liverpool need 2 or 3 more players, says Emma. You need a centre-back, which I think you'll get. And you need a striker, which I think you'll get. Look, I think most teams, if you get 2 or 3 key injuries, you're going to be suffering. It's very hard to carry a squad like, you know, PSG have done in the past, Bayern Munich have had in the past. You know, ideally, if you want to win your league and you want to win the Champions League, you want a really good starting 11 and a really good second 11. But that's a good cross by Porro. And a header onto the bar, over the bar by Richarlison. 22,000 watching. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We are back for Arsenal against Leeds at 5:30. So that's not a trump, it's my foot on a piece of metal. On my chair. I'm just going like that. Half an hour to go. City, dare I say it, have been very lacklustre. Bogrol says, come on, you Gunners, you're a top tier creator. Thank you, pal. If Liverpool get Isak and Guehi, will they win the Premier League? Oh, look, I can't change my Premier League predictions, so, and I'm certainly not going to change them in August. I think, and anybody who's gone with Liverpool, I get it. They are the favourites, but I've gone with Arsenal. I said if they get a striker that I like, they surely, it has to be their year. So let's see what Arsenal are like later. I mean, you cannot win the league if you're not going to beat teams like Leeds at home. I tell you what, I'm definitely onto something here. This new ball and headers is taking players time to adjust because they're always over the bar. There's going to be a case study on this. A lot of headers are going high. Wolves sold them a dream. They ain't that good, says Jeffrey. Stephen says, congratulations on the Bundesliga rights. Once again, you are blazing the trail. We are blazing the trail. Terry's just messaged me saying City looks so shit today. Yeah, I don't write City off. I'm not jinxing that. I still think City can get back into this. Only takes a goal, then you've got the momentum. But, you know what? Dorgu's overrun that. Haaland is up against two very good centre-backs. Romero and Van der Ven, when they're fit, are a good centre-back pairing. Kevin De Bruyne is in the crowd. Have Napoli not got a game? Surely Italian football's back. Yeah, it is back, surely. Today, yeah. He's got a game at R5. He can't be in the crowd. No, I always get Dorgu and Doku mixed up. It's because it starts with D-O. Obviously, Dorgu is a brilliant left-back for Manchester United, and Doku is an underused, talented winger at Man City. I like Doku. I'm surprised what happened with Savinho as well. I really liked the look of him, and then Pep just seemed to decide, no. Chelsea statement yesterday, or Hammers that bad, says Brian. Bit of both. I don't think you can go away from home and win 5-1 without sending a statement. But West Ham also... I always forget that Kolo Touré works for Man City as an assistant coach. I think a fresh pair of legs up front might not be a bad idea for Spurs, you know. Just to give Stones and Diaz a new problem. I mean, Richarlison's had a, you know, put a shift in. But... I think it was a bit of a mistake taking Mamouche off, you know. If I was Spurs and I saw Mamouche going off, I'd be like... It's like when you're playing for your own team and you see one of their better players go off and you're winning, you think, we've got a really good chance here. I don't really understand taking Mamouche off. But I keep saying it. People don't like it. Pep's a good coach. But tell me I'm wrong. Without Rodri, they're never that good. And does that make you a good coach? Or does that make you reliant on one player? And I think more and more it becomes more and more evident that City without Rodri ain't the same. I think Rodrigo will go to Liverpool, says Keith. I've not heard anything about it, Keith. Not for a while. I thought Man City were the team. Goal kick. City don't get the corner. Good play by Spence. Look, Man United, when we had Roy Keane, you knew it when you didn't have Roy Keane. It was always a big loss. So Rodri is a very similar influence on the team. But with the coaching acumen of a Pep Guardiola and the quality of that squad, I wouldn't expect it to be like a light switch. When Rodri's there, the light's on, and when Rodri's not there, it all goes wrong. Oh, Johnson's bottled that. He's got to win that. I'd take him off. I think he's having a bad game. I know he scored, but oh, look at Kudos. That's how you win a 50-50. Switch. He's offside again. Look at Johnson. Take him off. Seriously, I'll be taking him off now. Thanks for the goal in the first half. You put a shift in. Get him off. Why is he stood offside here? Why has he kept running there? He should be sprinting to get back onside. There's Richarlison down the right-hand side. Goes to Trafford. Hi, Mark. Do you think United without Bruno would be like City without Rodri, says Dean? Maybe not anymore. I think last season, definitely, yeah. Abraham says 2 missed penalties and a red card. Amazing VAR. Yeah, well, City should have had one. I think Spurs should have had one, and it definitely was a red card. So VAR, crap. I tell you what, from a City point of view, this half is flying by. Good tackle, get up. That's not a foul. Gets the bloody ball. And a yellow card. I need to see a replay of this. I need to see a replay of this. We've got the ball. How is it a foul when you get the ball? Well, whatever happens in this game, I think it's been a very, very, very low bar in relation to the officiating. Very, very strange. Multiple corners should have been given. Fouls when it's not a foul. Penalties, each team should have had one. But it's a good chance for Bernardo Silva to put it right in on Vicario, and he's crap at crosses. And he has put it in on him. Oh, and he messed that up, and it goes for a corner. Could have been a goal. When are we getting offline technology? Wasn't it supposed to be after the first international break, says Nath? Offline technology? I don't know what that is. Sounds like it's being turned off. Offside technology. We have got it. We have got it. It was very slow in the first half, but yeah. Another corner to City here. This is going to go right on the goalkeeper. Goes for another corner. Yet another game. Andre says, yet another game where Haaland looks like he's playing in high heels. Every top 6 team, Erling's bird watching. But it is about service, mate. If you give Erling Haaland 3 big chances in this game, I'd expect him to score 2. What a shit shot that was. Who was that? Lewis. Watch your 3 p.m. of choice. Should do UFC watch, says Mike. I haven't looked at the 3 p.m s. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the Bundesliga for obvious reasons. I think Frankfurt and Leverkusen play their first games at 2:30. But Richarlison getting into trouble again. Bournemouth, Wolves, Brentford, Villa, and Burnley, Sunderland. I mean, they're all interesting. I think, you know, in March and April, games can become irrelevant because, you know, well, there's never a penalty there, so I don't really know what's going on. Diaz. Diaz has got to be one of the most overrated centre-backs in world football. I think he's decent, but the fact that he used to get into Premier League teams of the year every year just because he played for City, I've never thought Diaz was anywhere near the levels of people like Van Dijk, and I just think he's been massively overrated because he plays for Man City. I'd put him on the level of Tarkowski. He's basically a Portuguese Tarkowski, and most of the time he plays for Portugal, I think he's even worse. That's why they kept playing bloody Pepe. And he was 72. Like, John Stones is a decent centre-back. He just has a lot of injury problems. What's your 3? Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Rodri is warming up. Can he turn it around in 20 minutes? Yeah. Don't worry, bro. Get your cape on. 20 minutes to turn it around. I'm not taking the piss with Tarkowski. I genuinely don't think there's a lot of difference between him and Diaz. That's why I said it. It's not there for like a clip. I genuinely think there's not a lot of difference defensively between Diaz and Tarkowski. Pass it. Pass it again. Oh, why has Brennan Johnson not been took off? I suppose they haven't got anybody though, have they? United should get Stiller now and Belieber next summer after selling Bruno to Saudi, says Hasha. Credit where it's due. I thought Ben Tanker had a really dodgy first half an hour, but he's got better and better. Palhinha's been brilliant. Sarr's been really good. Oh, Trafford again in no man's land. But City come away with it, and then Spurs win it back. And then City win it back. And then Spurs win it back. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're nearly on 406,000. We're only 100 away. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Referee plays on. No, he doesn't. He's given the foul. Are they going to bring Rodri on now? Well, that was a foul. Poor old Trafford. He has been a little bit like a rabbit in the headlights. Probably knows it's his last game. Foden and Rodri coming on. Should Trafford have been sent off? 78% of you said yes in the poll. 20 minutes to turn this game around. Rodri and Foden. Stephen says, I don't watch a lot of City, but they look like they are out of ideas when they get in the final third, says Stephen. Look, from what I've seen of City today, they play Arsenal in 3 games' time at the Emirates, and I think Arsenal will not have a problem against them. I mean, I'm not saying City can't go in there and win, but they're not intimidating. They're going to have to change a lot. I can see Pep having to go change his plan. You look at the team that he started with, brand new team. I can see in the next game, you'll see Rodri, you'll see Foden, you'll see Bernardo Silva. Well, is this going to make the change? That's going to be a corner to City. They can get one back now. Crosses deep. Header is good. Oh, it was Rodri as well. It was a good header. He kept it down. We've not seen much of that. And it's straight at Trafford. Not Trafford. That would have been an OG. Straight at Vicario. Trafford again having to sweep a keep. Not very confidently, but does get it out for a throw. Solanke, and is that Odebear coming on? I wonder if it will be for Richarlison and, well, Johnson off, but yeah. Look, fair play on the goal. Faded a bit in the second half. Intelligent substitutions, to be fair. And the right substitutions. 15 to go. I mean, look, we're starting to enter that territory now where do you dare to dream as a Spurs fan? Uh, 23,500 tuning in. You're absolute legends. Thank you, everybody. The home of the watch-along on That's Football. The original goats, you are. Changing the game, you are. We're back for Arsenal against Leeds at 5:30. Don't forget, complete Bundesliga highlights with all the goals coming out next week as well on this channel. We're bringing the attention to a European League, Channel 4 style. Early 90s. Golazzo. That's the vibe. Look at City again playing out from the back. But it might work well for them. That's Bentancur, Foden. Now they've got to be careful. Doku. He's got lots of space to run into. This is what he likes to do. Doesn't necessarily know what he's going to do. Could have dived. Should have dived. Why did Doku not dive when Porro... I mean, I'm not condoning diving. What I'm saying is, it wouldn't have even been a dive. There was contact. You need a bloody... I think Doku could have been a little bit cleverer there. I think there was a bit of contact from Porro. I think he could have gone down. Goldbridge would have gone down. My acting drama GCSE would have helped here. Look at this. Porro leaves his foot in. He could have gone down. It's not a great angle. That's a crap camera angle. I think he could have gone down. Fair play for him not going down, you know. See here? Yeah, he could have took the contact and gone down there. Fair play for being honest. That's what I would have done. Stay on your feet. Phil Foden's limping here. Oh, I don't like it when Phil Foden gets injured. He starts going like that. That would be very bad luck if he's injured. He's only been on a couple of minutes. He does look in a lot of pain. He's not doing the hand thing yet, though. City showing that they've still got they've got another breakaway here. I don't know why Spurs keep getting caught on the break. They'll be very careful about that. You're winning 2-0 at Man City with 10 minutes to go. Stop getting caught on the break. Watch City go and get Belieber and Donnarumma now, says Curious Watchman. Well, if they've got the money to do it, they've got the money to do it, haven't they? Foden's got a crap haircut, says Grave. Haaland not scoring will be huge for my FPL. There's still time, GGMU. I need Gyökeres to catch him up today. I'm thinking 6. Porro's just been booked for time wasting. What did Foden do to deserve this treatment, says Keel. I'm going to stretch me back a little bit. $10 minutes. There'll be a lot of stoppage time. I still think we've probably got about at least 16 minutes left here. I never write City off. Go on, lad. Lovely play. Odegaard. Wins the throw. Stop hugging the chair, says Jack. But I love it. I just need to stretch my back. Oh. Yeah, no, I think hopefully we'll see a different Arsenal today. I want to see a few goals in that game. First chance to look at Leeds as well. I think that's the joy of the first few weeks of the Premier League, isn't it? You want to watch as many teams as you can. So, this is the first time I've seen Spurs and Man City in a 90-minute game. Obviously, I didn't watch Leeds Everton on Monday, so I'm looking forward to that. You support Arsenal? No, I'd just rather see Arsenal win the league when I've predicted them to win the league, and I'd rather see them win the league over Liverpool and City for obvious reasons. The same way Liverpool fans would rather see Spurs win the league over Arsenal or United. It's a rivalry thing, isn't it? I think Liverpool are the favourites, but you know, I think there's stories that we tell when we're communicating, and I like the idea of, you know, I did say last season if Arsenal had a striker, they would have, well, we've said it for about 2 years really. If Arsenal with a striker, that's the missing piece. They've now got that missing piece. How long's Havertz out for anyway? Aki, that's a good cross to the back post. Oh, goal kick. Bernardo Silva with the header. Couldn't keep it down again. 3 months he's out for. I suppose the concern for Arsenal is if anything happens to Gyökeres, who plays up front. Have you still got... what's his name? Jesus. Or is he gone? Vivek says, didn't you say Garnacho and Maina will be United superstars, but Garnacho shows attitude, now you don't rate him. How does poor attitude change your ability? I don't know how much you watch the United stand, Vivek, but you clearly haven't watched it. You're a Chelsea fan, and you've changed the agenda to suit your club needs. Garnacho's attitude stinks. He's sat on his arse through pre-season and the start of the season to get what he wants. I mean, I can't understand a footballer that doesn't want to play football. His attitude stinks, absolutely. He's let himself down. A lot of United fans backed him, myself included. But I've never said he's not... every time I've said his attitude stinks, I've always said I still think he's got incredible potential and he's a top talent. So, yeah, you just clearly haven't listened. I haven't changed my opinion on his talent. I've definitely changed my opinion on his attitude. Maybe he'll grow up at Chelsea. Maybe he'll grow up. But he's shit on United, to be honest with you. But we've got 3 players like that. Sancho, Anthony and Garnacho just don't want to play football. Who sits on their arse for 2 months? It's weird. The modern footballer, I suppose. It's very, very strange. You know, obviously I'm in my 40s, so I've watched a lot of football in my life, and it's very rare that you get footballers that are happy to sit on their arse and miss games and pre-season to get the financial reward that they want. It's just a strange way. But, you know, some of us love football, some of us are mercenaries. Zippo says Spurs' work rate's been fantastic in this game. I think there's going to be a few man of the match contenders. But it's not over yet. Doku into the box. Another corner. Spurs have defended. Look, for me, Porro's had a good game. Van der Ven and Romero and Spence have had a good game. Palhinha's been brilliant. Sarr's been really good. Richarlison's put a shift in. Kudus has put a shift in. Bergval's coming in. No, I'll tell you what, that's a nice... Oh no, I don't really like the lines in it. It's a nice clean kit for Spurs, isn't it? Kudus is coming off now. 77% say Trafford should have been sent off. I'm going to start running a poll here. It still might be too early. I can't run it yet. I'm going to have to wait a little bit before I put it out there. Drew says Jesus is still injured. Porro, good pace. I thought Bergval was offside there. Goes through. I think he was offside. Cutback's good. Odebear with the shot. Goal kick. I like Bergval. So what I mean about Spurs, though. Whilst they haven't got injuries, they've got lots of options, haven't they? Haaland's going to keep that in. Great tackle. Great tackle. Romero, aggression. Oh, silly. That'll be a foul. Referee says play on. Rodri pings it up edge of the box. Ref's going to go back for a foul on Aki. Yeah, but like I was saying about Spurs, they've got lots of options in the midfield, haven't they? I think Bissouma's finished. Attitude. Kulusevski was playing in the midfield last year. He's not back from injury yet. James Maddison's injured. Bergvall was on the bench. I mean, that's a different midfield. I mean, if everyone was fit, you could play Bergvall, Kulusevski and Maddison, and none of them started the game. So he's got a lot of options. I do think they need a couple in the attack, which is why they were going for Eze and they're still linked to Savinho. You feel that City needs something from this cross. Crap cross. Foden. And a foul. That will eat up a few minutes. Look, maybe City can get back into this game, but I think the bigger picture is it's been a shit performance. Lots of them starting to leave. They'll be off to Sports Direct to get Chelsea shirts. There'll be a shortage in Manchester this afternoon. I hope Sports Direct have got the servers powered up because there's going to be a few deliveries going in. B16 says, Goldbridge, the man, the myth, the legend. Congratulations on your success with the TV rights. Thanks, pal. Well, we will watch Man City's season with interest. We looked at the team at the start and said, fair play. Pep's trying to do a rebuild. He's never done one before. But that rebuild still seems very, very dependent on Rodri. I think we put Rodri in that team. He's a Ballon d'Or winner, you know. Curious Watchman says, really enjoyed the Bundesliga show last night. It had a few teething problems in the first half, but second half was where it's going to be every week. That was, we really settled into it then. So excited for it. And really excited about the highlight show as well. Cross into the back post. Bergvall gets it away. We're about to hit 90 minutes. So we're about to find out how many minutes of added time we're going to get. Look, City have scored 2 goals in added time before. Don't remind me. "64 minutes added on. What is this nonsense?" That's a sub. Palhinha's coming off for Danzo. I'm not going to say what the poll is. The poll is there. You can get voting. I still think it's a little bit early. Another 5-1 for City incoming at the Emirates, says Sonny. Mark's been hitting the gym. I haven't, Dean. Genuinely haven't. Which one of my Man United signed jerseys worth less? The one with Garnacho's or Onana's? I've seen Spurs lose a 2-goal lead in 3 minutes, says Haz. Yeah. There's only 4 minutes added on. That's incredible. There's only 4 minutes added on. Even Spurs can't bottle this. Tell you what, if you're a Spurs fan, you'd be over the moon. How's there only 4 minutes added on? Like, there's been multiple subs. Oh, well, I'm not going to complain. Spurs haven't conceded a goal this season, by the way. And their next game is at home to Bournemouth. Lovely start to the season for Spurs. Yeah, there's a poll. Should I do Man City in crisis video? If you know, you know. Patrick Smith, thank you very much for your super chat. We are only 15 subscribers away from 406,000, by the way. 1.406,000, but we're only 15 away. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, get involved. And we're back for Arsenal Leeds. I am going to do a reaction to this game as well. I'll upload that. But it's a good save by Trafford. Odebear, good save by Trafford. He did make a good save there. One from Solanke, one from Odebear. The Solanke save was better. Look at Diaz here, crap. Look at this. This is how not to be a centre-back. Look, absolutely rubbish. But good save by Trafford. Yeah, poor defending there from Diaz, or as I call him, the Portuguese Tarkowski. That was more of an easy save for Trafford. Yeah, so I'm going to do a match reaction to this straight away. Probably going to call it Man City in crisis just for the banter. If you know, you know. And then we're back for Arsenal versus Leeds at 5:30. Looking forward to it. Sean says, I've seen United fans wearing Garnacho or Rashford shirts to games. That's just odd behaviour, really. Player FC, I mean, Player FC. Doku very busy with little end products as Badger. He just reminds me so much of St Maximin at Newcastle. Like, you can't take your eye off them. They're brilliant. I love players like that. But I don't think they know what they're going to do. You know, I literally think they just play on vibes. Well, doesn't matter what he does now. There's only 20 seconds to go. Fantastic result for Tottenham. Fantastic result for Tottenham. Brilliant start to the season. Really pleased for Thomas Frank. Over the 90 minutes, they've deserved it. Let's not forget, City should have had a man sent off as well. So I think if you're a City fan, there's not a lot to take from it. It's going to be a very interesting season. They could go to Brighton and win and have 6 from 9. It's not, you know, it's not the end of the world, but they've got a lot of work to do, City, and they don't look very fluid. I think that's the biggest issue. Isn't 2 months worth it for a 7-year dream contract, says Danny. If you're a mercenary, yeah. Is there a fire drill because Man City at the Etihad's empty? I mean, this is what it looks like when they're home to a lower league team. This is 10 minutes into the game against Fulham. Final whistle, Tottenham 2, Man City 0. Perfect record for Spurs, 2 wins from 2, no goals conceded, 5 scored. Manchester City, first home game of the season, defeated, 2-0, deservedly so. Confusion around what Man City are at the moment. So many changes, but ending up with many of the experienced players on the pitch. Still couldn't break it down. Really big win for Spurs. And Pep's in the mud, says Savage. Get in the pub all day and celebrating, says 5 Cantonars. I'll be back with you at 5:30 live. I'm going to go and do a Man City in crisis video now, and I'll get that up for you in about 15 minutes. If you want to get some match reaction, get over to the Football Terrace. Terry's live right now, reacting to this with his show. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you in a bit.